from your laptop? Why can't you just teach me how to do that and then we'll save a ton of money?
I could, yeah. But you won't be able to switch cameras or adjust audio levels or anything.
You're doubting me.
Are you going to join us, or are you going to be?
I'm a member of the crowd.
Okay. So we can address, okay, very good.
I'll join you.
Okay, that'd be good too. Now we have to keep on looking at you. Go and speak up again, please.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna call the Cable Commission meeting to order, and the time is 1:35. Thank you. Present at the meeting are two members of the board, Gary Kangas, who's been a member, and Albert Afonso. I'd like to start by thanking Mr. Kangas for coming here to the meeting, and as well as Brittany, our cable advisor, who's here to help us videotape and audio tape all the meetings that take place here in the town. I'd like to ask Mr. Kangas if there's anything he'd like to start the meeting off with, any issues or any topics that he'd like to present to the board, or something that we should be concerned with going into the new year.
Well, we need to know the events that we're gonna be filming, documenting this year, like the field day and Hubbardston Fair and Memorial Day. All the events in the fall, the Dinghy Dash, the Halloween
Okay.
parade, then there's of course a Christmas light fight and
Okay.
anything else that we might think of.
Okay.
Did you do something for the light fight? Oh, that's cool.
Would you like me to coordinate with the special events Katie and maybe get a working list of potential dates of everything? Would that be helpful?
It would for me, yeah.
Okay.
I usually just watch the Board of Selectmen meetings, cause she'll announce that stuff, and then keep an eye on the town calendar, and then also the Facebook page. When they get when they post about it, then I'll add it to my calendar.
So I'll just see if I
But-
can get a copy of the calendar ahead of time from Katie.
Oh yeah, anything you
Of
could get
the year.
ahead of time, that'd be great.
So I'll just let her know and that it's for filming and all that other stuff, so she'll be very
Yeah.
happy to part with that list,
Yeah,
I'm
that'd
sure.
be a big help, thank you.
I'm working on a documentary right now, it's probably gonna, next year in the progress of Hubbardston then and now. It'll be like walking down Main Street and see an old house. That's now, and then I'll show the house that was there that burned down 100 years ago. And scenes of that then and now, showing the Hubbardston as with the wagons going down the street and that kind of thing then, and how much it's changed over the years.
When do you think you're gonna have that ready?
When it's done.
Okay, so you're working on it slowly, eh?
Like my first book, I signed a contract with the publisher to deliver a book in 6 months.
Okay.
So I was working every night on it for 6 months, and my wife called it my mistress. So I've been working on this one now since 2009. I've been working on my second book.
Okay.
So it'll be done when it's done. So as I'm getting nice pictures, I'm writing it. So I'm about halfway.
Okay, that's cool. Okay,
Video kind of same thing as.
very good. We look forward then to having that to upload onto the Hubbardston channel whenever you get a chance.
And one thing I think that could get national attention on Hubbardston, actually put on the map, is that book, the Sullivan book on history, says no evidence of Indians living in town. And they found a dugout canoe in Comet Pond, which is in the Worcester Historical Museum. And I found at least 9 caves up on the back road. And I know I've been told a lot more of Indian caves. Some of these are very impressive. I don't know if anybody here has been there.
Where are those located again?
Halfway between here and Templeton. There's a very impressive caves that you can walk into, stone caves cut right in the rock. In fact, I lit fires in a cave and smoke came out 300 feet away through a crack. I think there's tunnels and everything. And I've had several tours up there. And some of the caves are on private property and some are on state land. But the owner of the property that owns the caves in that area, they're willing to let archaeologists from UMass come in and I'm trying to coordinate this. we might have a, national, treasure here.
We'll look forward to hearing what you find out about that too.
And I can also coordinate with you, Matt, because those are my professors that are coming out. That's what my degree's in archaeology and anthropology.
That'd be great, cause, I know there was talk about getting them there, and this person knows some of them. There's a guy in Templeton that's, knows about the archaeology people, and maybe pull this together and, I think it'd be quite a interesting fact, the history of Hubbardson.
Okay.
Back to my book, I've got 2 pictures of the caves.
Oh, okay. Well, I'd like to see that. I'd like to see that someday. I really would. Anything else?
I'm gonna tell where's this whole exposition if we do that.
Okay, that would be good.
And right now, they're very undisturbed.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard of them. I've never heard anybody actually, been to them. So, it'd be interesting to see once you put that together. Brittany, we haven't had a meeting in a long time. How's our equipment holding up?
We're okay. Nothing's broken recently. Yeah, we're okay.
Okay.
I think like we will, at some point in the near-ish future, probably need to replace our edit computer just cause it's aging out. I don't remember how long ago we bought it, but it's probably, I don't know, at least 7 or 8 years old now.
It's a Mac base.
It's an older iMac. I might be able to find it like in my old emails how old it is. But it's still working now, but it's finicky.
And what's that equipment called?
An iMac?
Okay, so it's an old, okay.
You're probably gonna have to get new software, cause when my Mac, I got a new Mac and the software is too old to run it.
Mm.
Could we run a MacBook Pro?
Yeah.
So that's half the price.
Half the price. Do you want me to see if there's a grant out there to update the technology?
Yeah, it looks like it was purchased early 2016. So yeah, it's 8 years old. And we use it for like very basic editing, but it could be faster and it will eventually die.
Gotcha. You got a time frame on that, when you think you might need it?
I mean, if it's like a we wait until it dies scenario, I'd say maybe 2 years, but it could be sooner than that. But I mean, I would maybe plan for purchasing it like next fiscal year.
So, in September of this coming year, September to August of next year.
Yeah, if we have the funds, then you might wanna.
We should have the funds.
You might
We have
wanna
the funds
consider,
for it.
well, it depends on what you've
Right.
budgeted. Is budget already finalized?
No.
No, okay. So you might wanna plan for that, for the FY 25 budget.
We're probably looking about 2,000 total.
It'll be more than that. It'll probably be 3 or 4.
We'll sit down closer to town meeting and figure out that number.
Yeah, I would have to like build one in the cart, but the prices have gone up considerably, in the last couple of years. I bought one for another town, so I know roughly how much it costs.
That's fair. In case failed to note on the attendees for the meeting today, we also have the town administrator, Nathan Boudreau here at our meeting. If you have nothing else to say, Brittany, I'm gonna give it to Nate and see what he'd like to share with us.
Yeah, I don't have anything urgent.
No,
Please.
thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for having me here today at my work. So this was very convenient.
Yeah, I liked it in the bottom of the library myself.
So the reason we do that is, and I sent this email out a couple of times, we get to pay 1 less hour for Brittany and her staff because in this room they do not need to upload the video. So it saves us in the long run the more groups that meet in here.
Okay.
But on my end, I'd just like to thank Brittany for her and her staff doing outrageously good work in the last year since I've been here. Bridget is always here and happy and willing to work with whomever is hosting the meeting, and they record a lot of the town videos as well, so that has been great to get out there. Brittany's willingness to record my weird little Hubbardston Headlines program has been really big to me, and my efforts at creating a additional communication venue or avenue with the general public, which has been awesome. People do watch it. Each video gets a couple hundred views. It's not a ton, but it's something. In the coming month or two, you'll be hearing from me because Charter has been reaching out to the town to let us know that the contract for cable runs up in 2026. I will send that to you guys very, very shortly. I gave Brittany a copy, I believe, 2 weeks ago, so it's already time to start talking about that. Al had noted that the last time we did this, the committee was simply the Cable Commission. So if that's past precedence, I don't see why we would change that or recreate the wheel, but I will bring that forward to the select board. Like you did, to introduce you to Patricia Lowe, who is the cable clerk, land use clerk, conservation assistant, and storytime lady. So she's happy to be here assisting you, and thank you for welcoming her kindly. Other than that, I am available for questions almost any time, and appreciate your willingness to work together with the staff here.
Do you have any questions?
No?
I do. This past week, you had a select board meeting.
I did.
At which at that time, you went through a different venue to get the meeting on the internet. I believe you use a Google platform?
So I did not go through a different avenue to get the meeting on the internet. All aspects of the meeting were placed on the internet through the same avenue that we have been using for years.
Okay.
What I did that you're talking about is I used this, which is a Meeting Owl telecom system, to broadcast the meeting live onto Facebook, which we do not do as a cable operation.
It didn't seem to operate very well. Or am I just, was it just my connection?
There were too many people in the room.
Well, it seemed like we couldn't hear, I was trying to hear the meeting live, which I understand why you want to get it there. Your whole thing is make everything accessible, information available, and involvement, which was great. But I was sitting in front of my computer trying to hear the questions, and it seemed as though you had difficulty hearing them. You could see their lips moving, or maybe they were making gestures to talk to you, and you weren't hearing them, and you were trying to correspond with them. I'm thinking in particular of Mr. Blanchard. There was a little episode there where you were trying to connect with Mr. Blanchard.
Because he hadn't unmuted himself.
Okay.
Like, so the system worked quite well. I went and watched it on Facebook Live after. It was picking up everybody. It has an expansion mic.
I was just looking at it.
What was wrong was Ed kept unmuting himself when he wasn't supposed to be unmuted and muting himself when he was talking. So I couldn't hear him.
So is there any way, Brittany, we can get consolidation of that and go through you and go through the system we have here in the town to get rid of that so we have more continuity and more ease
So,
providing the service outside of this building?
yes, but at a cost.
Okay.
So,
How outrageous a cost?
it would be a few $1,000s. So, the issue, so the microphones we have right now, these ones, they're boundary microphones on the ceiling, and it just picks up all the sound. If we were to have a meeting in here that was hybrid, what happens is those microphones pick up themselves being broadcast back into the room, and it creates a feedback loop.
Okay.
To get around that, you would have to use gooseneck microphones, like highly directional microphones that just get pointed at the person's mouth who's talking, and it just picks that up. That way it won't pick up the speakers, the sound coming back into the room. It's doable. In practice, it tends to be a little rough because people just talk in the audience and won't come up to a microphone. And if they don't
So it's
come
like-
and talk up to a microphone, people at home aren't gonna hear them, people in the recording don't hear them because we have those highly directional microphones.
So it's like a select board meeting.
There's nothing we're ever going to be able to do about what you're talking about. Like, if a resident does not turn on their microphone from Florida, there is nothing we can do to
Facilitate
facilitate conversation with
Correct,
them.
I get that.
Like, that's user error.
But what you were saying is the experience we have when you go to a select board meeting, where the question seems to they just want to stand up, address the select board or address the panel in front, and they have to be told, no, you gotta go around, you gotta go to the microphone and speak directly
Oh,
into
you're
the
talking about
microphone.
like a town meeting?
Correct, the
Yeah,
town
yeah, yeah.
select board meeting, right. So you're talking about that kind of
So yes,
situation.
it's possible to be done. I've done it in other towns where they do hybrid meetings. We have to just use like highly directional microphones, and then everyone in the room has to use the microphone. If someone stands up and just talks from the back of the room, we don't get their
We're not
audio.
gonna get- So why don't we take the money out of the cable commission budget, which we have, at least I presume we have, and buy her the equipment so we could
I would love that, Al. That's actually why I was.
We could do that.
What I was gonna bring up later. I would really appreciate the cable commission working with me on making this room a hybrid smart meeting room.
I don't know if I wanna go that far.
We should go that far.
I don't know. Let's see how you do in your grant.
I got that with a grant. That was free. I got the Owl meeting software with the grant.
Anyway, yeah, so you think that's something we should look into then, or no?
I mean, that's your decision to make. I can get some quotes, so we have a better idea of how much it'll cost, and then we can kinda go from there. What's the deadline for the budget for next year?
Whenever.
Okay. And then when does the warrant
So.
close for town meeting?
April 1st.
Okay. I can probably get quotes before then. So,
Okay.
but for something like this, typically you would do it as a separate warrant article for this project or whatever, rather than building it into your budget for next year.
Yeah,
So you would just do a warrant article, like we're gonna spend up to blah, blah, blah to, set up this room to be hybrid.
What
but we
w-
can do it, excuse me, I apologize. But we can do it with the hardware and the equipment we currently have. But I mean, it's not like
Yes, we're
whatever
gonna
we-
need more though.
Yeah, but it's not like what we have, we're gonna have to discard and start afresh.
No,
We can build off of what we've got.
correct.
Do you have any thoughts on what I've proposed?
No.
Okay.
What would I have to do to get to a point where what I show on the television is broadcast to the viewers at home? Without you physically having to look at it with a camera? Like, what would I have to do to have you go to, say, AV4?
So
and that's-
either, it could be done one of two ways. If you were doing it via Zoom, you would just share your screen on Zoom like you do normally, and we'd be taking Zoom as a source in there, so then we would just cut to that.
We tried that.
Or-
That didn't work.
No, it does work.
Because we talked about doing that for 6 months before.
No, it does work, but then we run into the audio issues.
Yeah, and because
But-
the audio, it was bouncing off of each other.
So, yeah, and that has to do with the microphones. So you could do it that way, or we could set it up, which is a little bit clean, well, you would have to, if you were doing hybrid, you'd have to have Zoom as a source anyways. But you could also set up so that there's some sort of wall plug or something like that, that anybody that's presenting, you can plug, HDMI cable or whatever from your laptop into that wall plug, and we'll have that as a source as well. So if you weren't doing Zoom, you were doing something else.
Would a hybrid smart screen assist in being able to aid in this goal?
It depends on what the output is for, if the screen has an out.
Let's look into some stuff.
Yeah, if the screen has an out and we can just send that out to the mixer or whatever, then yes. But I'd have to look, it would just depend.
Okay, building off your idea then, wouldn't it be simpler, quicker, and easier using the iMac we have and a TV put behind you? I noticed from all the meetings I've watched, that tends to be your chair,
Yeah, but
for the most part, so you know what I'm gonna get at,
Yeah.
right? If whatever you're referring to from your laptop goes directly to that TV, then the camera here is gonna automatically pick up you, and then it would just be a matter of realigning the lens to see what you're referencing.
in the coming weeks, I'm going to be bringing back at least for the select board meeting, I cannot speak to every meeting, the podium style speaking for presentations in the public. We're gonna bring it back over here, cause in my opinion, certain meetings have gotten a little too relaxed. So I was speaking with the Chair Williams last week about potentially bringing the podium back and having presenters and public wishing to speak from the podium. So I think that would make it even better, and the podium would be either over there or over there, wherever it fits.
Yeah, but I'm trying to get to the point where what you're referencing is shown on a TV and that camera automatically picks it up, and I'm sitting at my home and I wanna watch and see what you're referencing,
Yeah.
and you want me to see that.
I do.
Wouldn't that be the quickest and easiest way to do it?
Well, it's very difficult to see, like, when you point a camera on a TV screen that's displaying something,
Yeah.
you really don't get the high resolution.
Correct.
And it's difficult to read. If we took whatever he has on his laptop as a source, a direct source, then that'll just show up on the screen. It's not a picture of a picture, it's the actual image. And then it'll be a lot more easier
Yeah.
to read.
Or can you
So-
do picture within a picture where you see the screen of what you were talking about and then a small picture of you?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what.
That is possible, not with our current equipment, but it is possible.
You can edit that way, but
Yeah, but that would mean a lot more work and it would cost more money. It would be cheaper to just buy a new video switcher that has that capability versus like us editing it every time, you know, to change it that way. But yes.
So respectfully here, I believe the conversation is heading in a way where I believe the board authorizing Patricia, Brittany, and I to look into the feasibility of a hybrid smart meeting room and return to a meeting in the future to discuss what we
Yeah, with like an itemized.
what we find would be
kind of-
appropriate. Cause then we're actually talking about items and rubber meets the road things versus ideas.
Can we collaborate on that?
Sure.
Rather than being left out and not having an idea of which avenue we're going down, can't the board and the members you just referenced collaborate on these ideas? Especially somebody such as Mr. Kangas, who's kinda expertise in that field. He has the knowledge of what's available, how to do it, etc. Couldn't we collaborate to get it all,
We sure can.
okay? Instead of like, here, this is what we got, this is what we're gonna do, here, you guys sign off on it, we'll talk to
But
you
if,
later.
if you both are in whatever, then it's gonna have to be like a posted meeting and stuff.
Yeah, we have to worry about first things first.
Well, it doesn't cost anything to put
Part
it
of the
online.
administrative matters is they have to vote me in, don't they?
No,
No? Okay.
the select board already voted you in.
Okay, so.
Yeah, see, we don't have any choice on things anyway.
you can go Al in his chair while we're at it.
You should elect Al Scher.
Yeah, now, come on. It's only one vote. But I appreciate the vote, though, it's an important vote.
Okay.
It certainly is.
It's the only vote that matters
It's the
in
only
this
vote that
case.
matters today, is it? And tomorrow. Okay, so yeah, you got some idea, a rough blueprint of what we're thinking, a route that Nate wants to go, and how we can get rid of the problem that he had last Monday night?
What problem?
Not being able to hear, not being able to see.
But that was someone's mic was muted.
Yeah, but even when he was talking, it was dessert in the background and.
Because
But it could be
because
his audio.
I know.
he didn't mute.
It was great.
And his wife asked him what he wanted
It
for
was
dessert.
great comedy.
But I have
Yeah,
noticed,
it was great.
noticed in some meetings, like if someone's sitting in the back corner there and like poses a comment or
And they
question.
don't talk loud enough.
And they don't talk loud enough,
Right.
and they're like hiding behind their neighbors, because they do have a public hearing coming up, so it would be nice if we could test out the podium probably at that public hearing would be nice, cause I am expecting quite a few people to come
So-
to this public hearing.
When is that?
That is March 5th, that is going to be the conservation, I was about to just send you an email before I
Okay.
left.
So
If you're
guess-
expecting a lot of people, then it probably should be in the senior
It's not a
center.
lot of people, it's just
Oh.
a butters notices went out,
Okay.
so I
You're
don't
expecting
know.
people,
Expecting
and you're expecting them
people,
to talk.
and I'm expecting them to talk, yes.
You said the 15th?
The 5th, March
Oh,
5th.
5th.
It's the next
So I guess
conservation
my
commission.
suggestion would be to take the names off of it and just have a vote of the commission to look into the feasibility of hybrid meeting rooms.
Yeah, because I know,
And we can
on
do it.
big meetings, we're still gonna want, I'm gonna speak for you, I apologize, but at big meetings where you anticipate a large crowd, as Patricia is, referencing, you're gonna end up being over in the school anyway.
Yeah, for town
Right.
meeting, yeah.
For
Yeah,
town
for town
meeting.
meeting, right, or any major issue where all of a sudden we got a spillover and we got people here and we got people there,
Mhm.
and neither the twain shall meet, so anyway.
And
We can't do town meeting hybrid, has to be in person only. You could live stream it, but there can't be participation remotely.
We could live stream it.
yeah,
Yeah, you
Yeah,
could live
you could
stream
live
town
stream the
meeting,
town meeting.
but just, no one could remotely participate.
because of law,
Yeah.
not because we said.
Yeah, not
law.
cause we wouldn't be physically able to, I could absolutely outfit that space so you could do a hybrid meeting over there, but legally, this form of government doesn't allow for remote participation for town meetings.
Okay. That's good. At least we got some ideas of things we can do to improve the product that we're putting out there to the public. Anything else you'd like to bring to our attention, Mr. Chairman? Mr. Town Administrator, I should say.
Not this evening.
Okay.
I-
How soon before you think you might be getting that new contract into our hands, since Brittany already had it and neither Mr. Kangas or I have got a copy of it?
It's
We
not-
don't have a contract.
It's not a new contract.
I know, but the renegotiating of the
I can send
contract.
it to you next week.
Okay.
It's just a letter from Charter saying like, hey, your contract's up in 2020, whatever, and we need to
And
start working on
for
a new
the-
one. It's a letter
for
they
the-
send to every town.
For the good of the order and to be completely fair, I've given you the letter in your hand. I just haven't sent it to you. You've read the letter. Like,
Yeah, I
So
read
Gary
it,
has-
but
Gary
I don't
has
have
the
a
red
copy, I got my
letter.
old one.
Yeah.
I was going through some stuff and I do have the old one. You lit the fire under my feet to go through all the paperwork I have relative to the town of Hubbardston and say what's relevant and what's not anymore to me. So yeah, I do have that. So that's something for us to both think about as to what we would like to try to advance the ability to access the internet and cable here in the town going forward with this new contract, rather than them just coming in and saying, this is what we're gonna do, and be damned if you don't like it.
I hear people complaining all the time that we got lousy Wi-Fi.
I hear it all the time too.
because we have lousy Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
We had, I was on a meeting this morning and I had to shut my video off and be at very bare minimum just so that we could hear each other and it would stop freezing on us in the library basement, but we got there and I eventually she was like, next time I will take my meeting from upstairs and take the library hotspot instead, cause it's just a little bit stronger and it's just cause it's an old building and Wi-Fi is Wi-Fi, but it is an old building, the library basement can be kind of a tough spot with the Wi-Fi, but otherwise it worked okay, but yes, I understand what you're meaning by that.
You know, I was kinda curious, how much is cable TV declining that people are dropping that?
A lot.
Can we put a poll in the field? While he's working on that, on the new business, the annual report, I didn't see one in here for 2022, but I could have just missed it.
No, there wasn't one submitted.
Okay, would you like me to write it, or would you like to write it and I will make sure it gets to the appropriate party for this year's annual report? I'm happy to write it for you if you like.
It sounds like you don't have enough time on your hand, but if you can squeeze us in.
Oh, I would, of course, you guys, I'm your
Please.
cable clerk, so,
Please.
I was gonna go off of what you wrote in 2021, if that's all right. Just change some some language here, because obviously we no longer are dealing with COVID-19 restrictions now. We actually have an open town meeting law in effect, and I can write we're following that particular law right now, instead of COVID restrictions and COVID protocols.
If in all your free time you wanna put together 16 sentences and give it to us for our review, we can look at it, I'm sure we appreciate that.
I'll get it to you hopefully by the end of next week.
You don't have to worry about it, you probably have a month.
No, I don't. I have till the end of February to get it in. So,
Oh.
and I'm gone for a week in February, so I wanna
Congratulations.
thank you, so I wanna get it into you
Wherever
guys.
you go, I hope you relax.
We'll see. It's in North Carolina, so I think so. Okay, so I will get on that for you guys.
Guess we're gonna get some coffee,
I've given you 3 films, programs.
That's what I forgot. I have the SD cards, I meant to bring them, I'm sorry.
What's the status of those?
I have them, I need to run them through,
The 3 interviews.
yeah, I need to run them through, Final Cut to get them something that the server will like. The files are huge, they're like 10 gigs a piece, so. Yeah, I will get that, get those online, SD cards.
Is, you say 10 gigs is something I can do to, make it easier for you in future videos?
It's just settings, your export settings, it's just,
Is it, the length of it, or
what's that?
is it the length of my video?
No, it's
Usually
it's
MOV.
it's the file format, yeah, MOV is really big. If you could export to MPEG-4,
Okay.
that will be a lot smaller. But, yeah, I'll get those up on the, YouTube page, and then,
Are they on cable now, or? you still got
they're
the-
not now, no. No, not yet.
Remember Richard Paquin?
I don't think I've ever met Mr.
He was
Pickle.
a Hubbardson resident. I got an interview, a 2-hour interview with
To
him.
remember him.
You did see work on the Morgan Farm for years.
I never met him to remember.
With all of this going on, would you like to have another meeting in March? Brittany, is that too soon for
No, I mean, if they wanna be involved, like, step by step, yeah, we wanna,
meet again in March?
yeah, we're gonna need to escalate this pretty quick if we're gonna
Yeah.
try to have it on the town
So would you
meeting
like to do it
warrant.
again in March, and we can look at dates and
Would
get
you-
something on the board?
What do you think?
And then I'll have minutes for you to approve at the next meeting.
I'm telling you, I just feel so rushed now. Sir, would you wanna get back to me on a day, or text Patricia on a
Any-
day, and?
Basically, I'm free anytime except for my doctor's appointments.
I hear that.
Between my son and myself.
The over
I have 3
65
boys, so I hear you on that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Son and I both had surgery recently, so anything like that, follow-up
Right,
visits.
right. So, take a look at the March
This isn't
calendar.
about the,
Pick a day. Just not Tuesdays or Fridays,
just
because
talking
town
about, I couldn't
offices are
find that
closed
paper,
and
but
my
I'll send it
office
to you.
is closed on
This
Tuesdays.
is the paper about the
Any day for me, because, as long as, I find that way that it doesn't conflict with,
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm retired now, and
Thank you.
What's that like?
I get up every day and say, oh, Saturday again.
So yeah, just talk amongst yourselves, pick a day, just ask that it's not a Tuesday or a Friday.
This is already, what you already gave me?
Yep.
I don't want it again.
Kicking through my head while you were preparing this, I wanna thank you for the information you gave us. Give us something to read over the next, few weeks before we have our next meeting. The grant that you referenced about feasibility to have the town wired.
So I did mention that to you off the record, so for the
I
good.
thought you just mentioned it here.
No,
Oh,
that was a grant to just buy that.
oh, okay.
That was $1,100. and we got a grant from the insurance provider to
Okay.
buy that.
Okay,
Outside of speaking of in general grants, the grant I was speaking about with you earlier is something I'm working on with Patricia, and which would potentially apply to get a fiber equity survey done in the town of Hubbardston. We have not submitted it yet, I'm still working on it, but I hope to have updates on that soon.
how long do you think how long have you got to submit that?
It's on a rolling basis.
Okay, so that's fair. So you would have factual numbers for cost or feasibility at that time.
After the survey
After
had
the
been
survey,
completed.
so we go into negotiations with Charter, should they come back to us and say, we'd like to start our negotiations early, we'll at least have something to reference or something that you have to give us a different train of thought?
In theory,
In theory, right,
yes,
exactly.
100% in theory. In practice, I
Who
don't
knows?
know if Charter plays ball like that. But in theory, you are correct.
Okay, okay.
Because I've heard some pretty dastardly horror stories about the communications companies working with other communities on this same project.
I had read an article on the internet relative to Charter branching off all sports related to their cable operation and combining them with Paramount and Disney and splitting off sports to offer all these sports now as a separate package across the board.
As a streaming service,
As a
or?
streaming service, correct. I had read that on the internet, so it's public info,
Yeah.
okay? And they put a price tag on that of $40 to $50 extra a month. So the high-speed internet would be valuable to people in the town because it seems like Charter wants to go in that direction. They wanna go to streaming and not the
As a
hard drive.
consumer here, you do not have the opportunity to say go with Comcast or someone, or
Right.
like Charter.
Charter, that's it. Right.
Interesting. Yeah, no, that's something we can look into. It's 100% something that is part of the general appetite of the town. After speaking with people and looking into fiber and high speed and seeing what can be done, because it goes hand in hand with the cell service conversation.
It's on the same plate, I guess.
Yeah.
It's electronics. It's not peanut butter and jelly per se, but yeah, it's.
Communication,
Yeah.
enabling.
Yeah, okay. Dissemination of thought and communication information. That's a lot of stuff to start, really. You got anything you wanna say? Save me, help, please?
Something I was gonna say, but I can't, lost it.
When does the warrant close? April what?
April 1st.
So do you want to have a meeting the first week in March? So that way we got March to meet, gives these guys, it gives her maybe 2 weeks to put stuff together.
Yeah.
Then we meet the first week in March, and then anything we wanna have clarified or whatnot, or additional information that gives them time to get it on the warrant that Mr. Boudreau just referenced for April 1st.
Yeah,
Wanna do that?
yeah.
I'd recommend meeting early March and then meeting late March, so you can vote on and decide what your warrant article is gonna be.
Okay.
Did we do that last year?
Do what?
That? Meet and decide what the warrant article was gonna be?
Did we?
No.
No, but if they're doing a special one
Yeah.
for a capital project, then you gotta write it and you have to vote on it,
Yeah.
to submit it to the Board of Selectmen, or the Select Board.
Yeah,
We would handle all the technical writing for you.
Yeah,
We
but you
make
would just,
sure-
because you would be putting it forward and
Yeah.
it's something out of the ordinary other than just budget, you guys have to you have to vote on it.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay, sure. So what do you wanna do? You wanna get back to me? You wanna get back to us on what's a good day for you? After you look at the calendar at the house? I'd
Pretty
like
much
to do the
any
same
day,
thing.
right now is good.
I'd like to do the same thing.
Okay, just go home, take a look at the calendar.
Calendar and shoot off an email.
And shoot off an email, and I'll most likely get back to you early Monday morning.
Yeah, you can,
Please list multiple days and times, cause my schedule
okay.
is busy.
And most days, I couldn't make it, I could, if somebody picked me up or I walked uptown. I'm only just down the road.
Yeah. I can pick you up at the Victorian, right?
No, you know, you go down, Elm Street here,
Yeah,
as soon as it curves left, I'm, dead of the street on the right, I'm the first house.
the Victorian.
Yeah, it looks like something from Disneyland,
Yeah, Victorian.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it's
it
old,
looks like it's got a steeple.
yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, I could pick you up.
One more point of deliberation to those watching at home, please consider joining the Cable Commission. There is a vacancy, and we are heading into negotiations for a contract, and there should be some interesting stuff coming up. That was it.
Thank you for bringing that up. Thank you very much.
Anything else, gentlemen?
No, I'm all set.
Would you like to make the motion?
You wanna make a motion to adjourn?
I second it.
Second, motion to adjourn has been seconded by Mr. Kangas. We're done.